Have you ever stopped to truly wonder about the deeper meaning behind the first letter of your name? Not the entire name, not the nickname your friends gave you, but that one letter, the first, the one that shows up on every form, every ID, every school paper you ever turned in. It's always been there, leading the way. It seems like just a letter, but what if I told you it's not random? What if that single character holds spiritual weight and purpose, especially if you're someone who feels different, set apart or chosen? From the moment you took your first breath, that letter began to vibrate in the spiritual world with a frequency unique to you. And if you've been called for something greater, this vibration isn't just noise, it's a mission, a code, a reminder from the divine of who you are and what you came to this earth to do. You see, many people assume that our names are simply something our parents chose out of a baby book, or based on a family tradition, but spiritually, the soul often carries the vibration of a name long before it arrives here in the physical. It's encoded in the soul's journey, and the very first letter of your name, the one that always goes ahead of you, carries clues about your gifts, your challenges, your inner identity, and the way your mission will unfold. Some of us come here to lead, some to nurture, some to create, others to protect, but those who are truly chosen, regardless of the shape of their path, share one thing in common: they do not go unnoticed. Even in silence their energy speaks. And that first letter, so subtle, often whispers louder than we think. If you've ever felt that there's something different about you, something you can't explain, but can feel deeply, this might be one of the reasons. You're carrying something sacred. And today, we're going to dive into what each letter of the alphabet says about your spiritual identity. But this isn't just about curiosity. This is a calling to remember. Because sometimes, the first step toward your mission is to recognize yourself in the mirror of your own soul. And maybe, just maybe, that reflection starts with a single letter. Every letter carries its own frequency, a unique spiritual tone. And just like sound waves or musical notes, these frequencies align with certain divine qualities: leadership, compassion, wisdom, faith, resilience, vision, and more. When you begin to see your name not just as a label but as a spiritual imprint, things begin to shift. Suddenly, you're not just you, you're a soul encoded with purpose. Imagine this: your name was whispered into the ears of your parents, guided by forces they may not have understood. They may have chosen it consciously or subconsciously, but it was never random. Spiritually, your soul knew what energy it needed to carry, and that first letter became the signature, the doorway, the key. That's why many people with the same initial often share similar traits, missions, or even struggles. The energy of the letter guides them. Think about it: how often have you met someone whose name just felt right for their personality? That's because the energy behind it was real. It was never just a coincidence. Throughout history and scripture, we see examples of people whose names aligned with their divine role: Abraham, Barnabas, Caleb, David, Esther, Gideon, Hananiah, Isaiah, Jesus, and so many others. Their names weren't just markers, they were messages. And often, the very first letter was a sign of what was to come. So today, as we journey through the alphabet together, I want you to listen with your heart, not just to learn but to remember, because deep down your soul already knows. And if you hear something that resonates, something that stirs something ancient and familiar inside of you, trust that. That's your sign. You are not here by accident, and neither is your name, especially not that first letter. Once we finish, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What is your letter? Greater,